Hey guys, welcome to the channel and part 2 of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, please do. The link should be up there somewhere. The review should also be included in this one, so look out for that. The full-length version of this film and over 80 movies are up on my Patreon. Please consider being a patron, where I hold weekly polls too. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
The skill of the elves can reforge the Sword of Kings, but only you have the power to wield it.
I do not want that power.
Ooh, that sword.
Here, take it. It's so light. The blade glows blue when orcs are close. Mithril, as light as a feather and as hard as dragon scales. My old ring.
Oh, that scared me. That actually scared me.
I'm sorry that you must carry this burden.
Hold to your purpose. May the blessings of elves, men, and all free folk go with you.
Is it left or right?
Left.
Unspoken words, shown beautifully by Peter Jackson. These shots are just insane. Like I said before, New Zealand is a beautiful country.
Gandalf, we could pass through the mines of Moria.
I would not take the road through Moria unless I had no other choice.
Sorry!
Get it! There you Shire! Hold up!
Crabine from Dunland!
Hide!
They must be creatures from Mordor. Probably scouts.
Spies of Saruman.
Oh, they're from Saruman, not Sauron. Sean Bean, Boromir has the ring.
Boromir! Give the ring to Frodo.
Do it, dude. You're not equipped psychologically to handle that.
As you wish.
So, Gandalf, you tried to lead them over Garadlas.
There is a fell voice on the air.
Oh, they're being attacked already.
He's trying to bring down the mountain!
What a powerful wizard. Editing this film will be so difficult because all these scenes are important.
Let us go through the mines of Moria.
Moria. You fear to go into those mines. You know what they awoke in the darkness of Khazad-dûm. Shadow and flame.
I wonder whether Gandalf can hear Saruman.
Let the ring bearer decide.
Good call. What does your uncorrupted mind say, Frodo?
We will go through the mines.
So be it.
Come and help an old man.
Who then do I trust?
You must trust yourself.
Gandalf is a great wizard. He's aware of his strengths and weaknesses.
Dwarf doors are invisible when closed.
Everything is so beautiful. I just can't stop praising the actual filmmaking.
Speak, friend, and enter.
What do you suppose that?
Asto Beth Amen.
Nothing's happening.
Do not disturb the water.
What's the Elvish word for friend?
Oh!
Melon.
Frodo. You're the champ.
This, my friend, is the home of my cousin Balin.
It's a tomb.
Oh, everybody's dead.
Goblins.
Goblins. They have goblins. Oh. Wow. Oh man, awesome CGI. Oh man, the CGI is so good. It's blending in with everything else so well.
Be on your guard.
Goblins, orcs, humans, dwarves, elves, wizards. So many different types of creatures in this world. Wow. Massive minds. Gollum is here.
There's something down there.
It's Gollum.
Gollum.
He's been following us for 3 days.
He wants the ring. My precious.
He will never be rid of his need for it. Smeagol's life is a sad story.
Smeagol.
Yes, Smeagol, he was once called.
Ah, that's who Smeagol is. It's Gollum.
Bilbo was meant to find the ring. In which case, you also were meant to have it.
Ooh, they're themes of destiny.
The great realm and dwarf city of Dwellodelf.
And the lighting work by Peter Jackson is just divine. Oh, he's worried about his cousin. Looks like they've been dead a while, judging by all those webs.
They have taken the bridge, but cannot hold them for long. We cannot get out.
Those were the last words. You messed up big time. That's a lot of sound and noise. Orcs are here! Orcs are here! So accurate with the bow and arrow. Oh, this must be the troll. Beautiful character design and CGI. It looks straight out of a fantasy book. Aragorn is such a badass. Fearless. Frodo is stabbed again? They've successfully killed the troll.
I'm not hurt.
Oh! It's the armor. For a second there I was scared for him. And the orcs are appearing from the cracks of the earth. Epic. Do something, Gandalf. The orcs are actually scared.
A Balrog,
Balrog.
a demon of the ancient world.
Oh.
This foe is beyond any of you. Run!
So that troll was exactly that, a troll. Balrog is something even more dangerous that they can't fight.
Lead them on, Aragorn.
Sounds like they're going into the depths of hell. If I'm not mistaken, the score was done by Howard Shore, who's a genius. Oh, nice. They didn't have to jump. Triumphant music. And beautiful visuals. Okay, so that's Boromir. It's like a hellspawn. Fire-breathing hellspawn lit on fire. I've heard the lines, "You shall not pass," but I don't know where it's from. But this seems like an appropriate place to use it.
You cannot pass!
Jeez.
You shall not pass!
You shall not pass.
Fly, you fools!
Huh. Did he let go intentionally? Is he dead? Dead? I think that's CGI because the characters lack proper shadows. Oh, Pippin regrets it. So does everybody else. Yeah. I think I have to go to New Zealand, don't I? I want to see these places with my own eyes. Man, I used to live in Australia. I had the chance to actually go down to New Zealand. I didn't.
A dwarf breathed so loud we could have shot him in the dark.
More elves?
You bring great evil with you.
Yeah, of course. I think he's trying to convince them.
You carry a heavy burden, Frodo. Don't carry the weight of the dead.
Good advice for a morally grey character. The Fellowship has lost one member. I'm just going to stop praising the sets.
The enemy knows you have entered here.
Gandalf the Grey did not pass the borders of this land. He has fallen into shadow.
What now becomes of this fellowship? Without Gandalf, hope is lost.
They still have Aragorn.
She said to me, even now there is hope left, but I cannot see it.
Sean Bean is doing an excellent job. Dude, Frodo, you have the ring. Don't stray too far away from the Fellowship.
Will you look into the mirror?
What will I see?
He's being attacked by orcs. Sauron. Oh, good for you, Frodo.
It is what will come to pass if you should fail. I do not deny that my heart has greatly desired this.
Treacherous as the sea!
I passed the test.
She resisted the temptation.
Even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
That's so beautiful. I must imagine the book readers feeling when they read that.
Whom do you serve?
Saruman! Hunt them down! Do not stop until they are found!
Holy crap.
Remember, one small bite is enough to fill the stomach of a grown man.
How many did you eat?
Merry and Pippin.
My gift for you, Legolas, is a bow of the Galadrim. These are the daggers of the Noldorin. Do not fear, young Peregrine Took. Elven rope, made of heathline.
Thank you, my lady.
I'm sure each and every one of these artifacts have their own history in the books.
I have nothing greater to give than the gift you already bear. Namari, I give you the light of Erendir.
He's definitely going to use it. Wow. I wonder where this is. Gollum! I forgot about Gollum. He still has been on their tracks.
I'm here to help you. I promised Gandalf that I would.
An honor to be found in men, but you will not see that. You're afraid.
Ooh. Wow. The scale.
Cross the lake at nightfall.
We should leave now. Something draws near. Where's Frodo?
The main motif of this score is just so beautiful.
You suffer. I see it day by day.
There is no other way.
I ask only for the strength to defend my people. It is not your save, my unhappy chance.
Run, 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 run.
We should be fine.
Oh, he wore the ring. Everybody knows where he is now.
Please.
Now the ring is not around him and he realizes what he's done. The eye. And yet again, Frodo has the will and the power to take the ring off, the determination.
Where is the ring? Stay away!
He doesn't trust anyone, just like Gandalf said.
Can you protect me from yourself?
I would have gone with you to the end.
And he realizes that he has temptation. I'm such a big fan of the Strider. I guess this film is ultimately about good and evil and resisting evil for the overall good.
I'm here, quick! Come on! He's leaving.
Their bravery. They're finally brave. Merry and Pippin are surrounded. Oh, Boromir. I know you're not a bad person. It's the ring. Oh, Boromir. Is that through his heart? Why does Sean Bean have to die? He's an expert at dying scenes. Aragon! Ah, no head.
They took the little ones. He's down. I tried to take the ring from him.
Oh, he regrets it.
Forgive me. I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king.
Oh, he accepts him as his king. Oh, that almost made me emotional, guys. Holy crap. Frodo's alone.
I wish the ring had never come.
I didn't know a fantasy film like this could get me so emotional and invested. Holy crap. First off, I feel like an idiot for not watching this before. And on the other hand, I'm kind of glad because I would not have appreciated this even 5-7 years ago. Okay, I took quite a while to collect my thoughts. First off, that was amazing. There are no two ways about it. The entire experience was breathtaking. From the cinematography, storytelling, score, sound design, to the acting, sets, costumes, special and practical effects, and CGI. The film was almost flawless. I can't find a single proper criticism of the film except the length, which is not even a valid criticism since there was so much lore and story behind what we were seeing. Peter Jackson's world building is second to none. Let's get right into it with the directing by Peter Jackson and the writing by him, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens. I know the screenplay was based on Tolkien's classic, The Fellowship of the Ring, which is legendary in itself. Adapting such a famous piece of work must have been incredibly difficult. The end result was spectacular though. The story was pretty uncomplicated in its basic form. There is a ring that must be destroyed and a fellowship is formed to destroy it, led by Frodo and aided by Samwise, Gandalf, Aragorn, Boromir, Legolas, Merry, Pippin, and Gimli. The film ends with Frodo and Sam alone with the others apparently dead or too tempted by the ring's power. What's amazing is how this simple story can be told in the most intricate of ways. There's an entire world of creatures and characters which make this feel alive. Just for my first viewing, I saw men, dwarves, hobbits, wizards, elves, orcs, and whatever Sauron was. That Eye of Power, I think. I feel like I barely scratched the surface of this amazing world, and trust me when I say it has me hooked. I can't wait to see what happens next and where this mighty quest takes Sam and Frodo and the rest of the Fellowship next. The cinematography of this film was divine. If I'm using the same words, it's because I've officially run out of adjectives to describe how beautiful this film was. Every single shot was masterfully framed and presented. There were so many locations, and I have to admit, New Zealand is an otherworldly place. Starting from the lush green of the Shire, to the top of the snow-capped mountains, to the dark and sinister caves to the heavenly home of the elves, Rivendell. Each and every place was filled with imagination and made with pure love of the source material. I am very happy that we did not get to see too much of Mordor, and Jackson chose to leave it like a little of a mystery. I think it'll be explored more in the sequels. The camera work itself was also flawless. The characters were framed perfectly, and I couldn't be happier with the choice in lenses. Almost every trick in the cinematographer's handbook was used to bring this world alive. It felt real. Putting the characters aside, the locations were also shot with an epicness. The landscape shots of every single location, from the Shire to Rivendell to Parth Galen, were shot to give a sense of scale. It's almost like the Fellowship was just a tiny speck in this massive Middle-earth. The score of this film was by the legendary Howard Shore. Just like every other aspect, it was perfect and used so very appropriately. The main motif was just legendary, and given the context that I have now, I would call it a masterpiece. I noticed quite a few characters or locations had their own themes, like the one used whenever Samwise does something good, or every time we get to see the Shire. I'm sure we'll get more of Howard Shore's music in the sequels. The sound design itself was convincing, and everything sounded like they had weight to them, especially the sounds of nature and the weapons used. I'm amazed how good sound design can affect the narrative so greatly. It was mighty impressive. The practical and special effects and the CGI were the best I've seen until 2001. I can pretty much guarantee that no other film had this level of technical achievement before 2001. There was a ton of CGI used, and a few scenes did catch my eye. I can only imagine how much of the CGI my eyes couldn't catch. I'm betting a lot. Most of the shadow work and the movement animations of the CGI characters were done very well for 2001. Unless it was in extreme close-up shots, I couldn't tell what I was looking at. The perspective work, by that I mean the optical illusions that were used, were brilliant. I don't believe I've seen it used to this extent before. The way Jackson shot the hobbits or the dwarves, that was insanely convincing. The human eye is very easy to trick, and Jackson was a master at trickery. The sets and props in this film were another highlight for me. The real locations were beautiful and blended with the sets very well. The Shire, for example, felt like a living, breathing place that I could almost visit, whereas I wouldn't dare to go to the mines of Moria. The props used, like the sword that turns blue, given to Frodo by Bilbo, and the One Ring themselves were so detailed and meticulously made that I had a hard time telling the CGI from the prop. I can't praise the production values of this film highly enough. Since there are so many notable actors and characters, I will talk about them individually, but I want to reserve my full judgment of the characters for the final review of the trilogy. Frodo Baggins was played by Elijah Wood. He was great in his role as the Hobbit, with an uncorrupted heart who has the ultimate mission to destroy the One Ring by taking it to Mordor. His character was complex and had a great deal of depth, and Wood's performance reflected that. He had to bear a responsibility he never wanted or asked for, but he does it with honor. Initially scared, but by the time we see the council's meeting, he knows that he's the only one that can take the ring to Mount Doom to destroy it. His friends, the Fellowship, help him and show him the way, even though they themselves are weak to the ring's corruption and temptation. Gandalf the Grey was played by the great Ian McKellen. He was just majestic in his role. He felt larger than life, and in my opinion, Gandalf shines especially bright in two aspects. First, when he's speaking his wise words or giving Frodo advice, and second, when he's using his powers. The whole world turns dark, and his voice becomes almost godlike, making him very intimidating indeed. His death was surprising, but I feel like Gandalf has a plan, and he wouldn't let go of the cliff that easily. We'll see what happens to his plan in the sequel. Viggo Mortensen played Aragorn the Strider. He was one of my, if not my favorite character in the film. He played his role with a reserved righteousness. He was reluctant when first revealed to be the heir of Isildur. That not only shows humility, it shows that he recognizes that the hearts of men are easily corrupted. I really want to see him get back his throne, and I hope he will. Samwise Gamgee was portrayed by Sean Astin. He was the ever-present best friend of Frodo. His character was pure innocence personified. Bound by his promise to Gandalf, Samwise would rather die than leave Frodo behind, and that level of friendship is very admirable. He was the only person left with Frodo at the end. Sean Bean played Boromir. He played the morally grey character to perfection. I was never sure of his actions or his intentions, and that goes to show the level of acting from Bean. Just like every other role he played, he unsurprisingly dies. However, he overcomes his betrayal and really redeems himself, although skeptical of the Fellowship's success in his final moments. He deserved and had a hero's death. Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan played Pippin and Merry, respectively. Both these characters were very well acted. They were a certain comic relief to the serious plot that was unfolding. They unintentionally do very dumb things that have grave consequences in the future. The important thing is that both their hearts are in the right place. Their fate is unknown by the end, as they were kidnapped by the orcs and taken to Saruman with the rest of the Fellowship hot on their heels. Orlando Bloom played Legolas. He was pretty good in his role, but I feel like he was the least developed character in the Fellowship. He had amazing skills with the bow and arrow, and his fighting sequences were just a joy to watch, but I feel like I don't know him as well as others in the group. I guess that's not a bad thing, because I know there are more films, and I'm sure we'll get to see more of him soon enough. Liv Tyler and Hugo Weaving played Arwen and Elrond, respectively. They were residents of Rivendell, and both these characters were portrayed excellently by these actors. All the elves in the film had a divine aura around them, almost washed out and heavenly. I think they represent purity in this world. Again, I think I don't know them well enough to have a solid opinion on them, and I look forward to seeing more of them in the future. Ian Holm played Bilbo Baggins. He was great in his role, and I love the moments he had to resist the temptation of the ring. The only jump scare in this film was by him, and it worked so well on me. It was when he almost took back the ring from Frodo. His face changes to almost like Gollum's. That was brilliant and horrifying to watch at the same time. I also like the fact that as soon as he gave up the ring, he started aging rapidly. I don't know whether we'll get to see him again, but I really hope so. Christopher Lee was Saruman, another solid performance. I didn't expect him to betray Gandalf like that. I get his reasoning though, that Sauron is just too strong to resist. I wonder how a great wizard like that could get corrupted so easily. His character was not fully revealed in this film, and I feel like he will have a bigger role to play in the future. Finally, Salah Baker played Sauron, who was very intimidating. I don't believe we get to see his face, but it's almost like we felt him. His whispers were haunting, and I genuinely was scared for Frodo and the rest of the Fellowship at times. I'm a little confused still about his mortality, as in, if his soul was bound to the ring, how can he exist as an overseeing eye at two different places? I'm sure there's an explanation missing, or one will be provided in the future. I don't have a criticism section for this film, so let's just move on to the conclusion. Overall, I felt like this was one of the best filmed movies ever. Certainly one of the greatest epic fantasies ever made. Peter Jackson was a master at his craft, and this film just felt like a prelude to something much bigger and darker, a story we have yet to watch. I absolutely loved each and every second of this film, and I'm kind of glad I get to watch this film with you guys. This was by far my longest review, and I hope you guys enjoyed the film as much as I enjoyed watching it. I eagerly look forward to the next installation. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.